Arco 1964 here. Just a quickish video about the 8 fourth round games and a preview of the quarterfinals for tomorrow. Match 1, Ryan Searle, James Howell. I'd originally predicted Ryan Searle playing Stephen Bunting in this tournament, and I thought actually Bunting would win. Obviously Bunting didn't get here because Howell beat him. So top quality for me, 100 average. He's not lost a single set in the entire tournament. James Howell did want to beat Bunting, didn't really turn up here. There's over 10 difference in the averages, and he's just not going to get that far in a World Championship with that sort of result. Match 2, a really interesting fight there. Luke Little against former champion Rob Cross. Of course, it's a bad time of it this year. It's only one more major since 2019, and that was the European Championship. Seems the lower grade majors. And that was the first year, I think, that a major went into the Premier League, is when Rob Cross won that European Championship. But Cross really put in a great fight and on darts to make it 3-all. He would have had the darts in the 7th set if he'd done that. Maybe the Little puts people under pressure and thinks they have to get that requisite double, and maybe that's one reason he missed it. Little though took control of the final leg to take the match 4-2. Whether he'd have won the match anyway, I think he probably would have done it. I think Little had maybe the extra gear left to win it, but it was a really, really enjoyable game. Ratajski beating Luke Woodhouse 4-2. Both have a good tournament. Ratajski sort of gone backwards. He's pushing towards the top 16. Perhaps not quite getting to the majors. Perhaps maybe that's what stopped the game a bit higher in the rankings. Seems to have some illness affecting his mentality, his mental health. It happened to me 16 years ago, so for a month. So it can happen. Look, it's happened obviously to a longer period, possibly a couple of years. And that's been sorted, and suddenly now he's back into top 32. And maybe there's a good chance now he just continue to go the upgrade. He's maybe in the best couple of years, so he may well be pushing back maybe towards the top 16 again. John Clayton, Andreas Harrison. Clayton I predicted him as getting him towards the top of the tournament, getting to the semi-finals. I'll come back to that in a minute when I predict his match against Ryan Searle. Harrison's a magnificent tournament. Clayton moves into world number 4 ahead of Stephen Bunting, but it's not. It's a tightish game, and Clayton's has been talking not being great his form in the second half of the year compared to the first, and he struggled a little bit to see off Donovan. He struggled a little bit to see off Andreas Harrison, and maybe Harrison lost his chance maybe when he could have taken lead against Clayton in the match. But Clayton gets through that one. Justin Hood, Josh Rock, astonishing doubling performance from Justin Hood. Hitting his first 11 doubles, finally just struggled a little bit on match start double, which many people of course will do. It's been a perfectly good performance. Against that sort of doubling, you're going to be struggling. And Hood moves through again into another match, gets closest to his Chinese restaurant. I wonder what his number 180 would be then in his restaurant, in regards especially for that one. But Hood he's had a fantastic tournament. I actually bar for one Mikkel match. Thought every single match of his tournament he wouldn't win. I did his first one against Nick Kenny, I thought it was effectively 50-50, and Nick Kenny himself got the first one last year, where I predicted to Kenny to win. But he's had he's a great guy and a fantastic tournament. My jet black horse, Charlie Manby, not even my dark horse, for 501 at the start of the tournament, round about that. Finally runs in to a great performance in John Van Veen. Manby did what he could there, but Van Veen just too good for one. Manby he lost his chance to maybe start the match to take complete command, and Van Veen just showed his class. I did say at the start of the tournament how far I thought Manby could get. However, I did actually say he was possibly short quarterfinals to my original video. But that depended on what Van Veen turned up, and Van Veen from World Championships for the last 2 years lost the first match. He did not turn up. It was Van Veen, his twin brother, won the European Championship, and it's good for the sport, not good for my betting. But this Van Veen is really, really impressive, and finally Charlie Manby's great one comes to an end. Marco Van Gogh and Gary Anderson. Anderson actually slightly lower average Van Gogh, but I felt he was much more consistent. Van Gogh was too much spraying him all over his shot, 180 and then of Paolo Cross afterwards. And Anderson back towards his best here. I did say at the start of the tournament I thought this would be one of 4. A few times I got a 4th match correct. I think who'd be playing each other. And I thought Van Gogh would beat him and probably get to the semi-finals. By the end of the 3rd round, I actually said I marginally preferred Gary Anderson, because Anderson is much better form in tournament than Van Gogh was. I didn't see it being 4-1, and Van Gogh just isn't. He's had a rough year of his family life, but frankly, Anderson is now a serious threat for this tournament. The question is how long he is at 55. How long he will be able to do this. Phil Taylor in the tournament got to final against World Cross, and then was beaten quite heavily, of course, as well. But World Cross played a brilliant match in that tournament. And lastly, Luke Humphries seeing off Kevin Dukes. Dukes are decent enough, 92 average is probably never really going to be enough. And he's had a good tournament, Dukes again. He beat Marcus Smith last year, he's had a good runs this year, including beating Nathan Aspinall. But Humphries 103 average, you're not going to easily beat that sort of average really, and Dukes in the end was quite well beaten. So come to the 4 quarter-finals and my opinions on those. Luke Littler, Christoph Ratajski. I think I remember why I said Luke Littler playing Gerwyn Price. My prediction, Gerwyn Price didn't turn up enough against Wesley Plazier. Plazier loses to Ratajski, who gets through here. I mean, that sort of a bet for 18 to 1 on Ratajski, I think it's no price. I think Ratajski's really good averages. He challenged Littler. I think Littler will win. I think Ratajski at least a couple of sets though. So there's a danger of completely writing Ratajski off just because he's playing Littler. But I still will think Littler should get through. Quarterfinal 2, I had originally Johnny Clayton playing Stephen Bunting and Johnny Clayton actually winning it. I'm now switching my opinion on Clayton here. At the start of the tournament, I thought he'd get to the semi-finals. I actually think now preferring Ryan Searle. Searle's coming through amazingly here. Not as a single set, winning all 14 sets. Clayton as well. He had a good average against Zonnevel, but it was struggling to see him off. And a less good average against Harrison, and maybe Harrison should have didn't really take his chances there, so to at least put Clayton under more pressure. Now there was an argument that said, and I can't remember whom said it during the coverage about Ryan Searle, that he's a great front runner, and maybe under pressure he may not be quite the same player, and his records with majors isn't great. But Searle now is actually looking for betting. He's actually a favourite here. I agree with that. He's in better form this tournament than Johnny Clayton is. I like Clayton. I'm happy Clayton wins. I like Clayton's nice game. Searle is one of my favourite players. Matt Egger, yes again, is showing some great predictions here. He said at the start of the tournament, Ryan Searle he felt would be the shocked semi-finalist. And I think he's claimed in the past that Searle's sort of a friend of the channel. I think he has. So I did slightly put it as Searle possibly, Clayton. Then could maybe just supporting Searle. Searle now is favourite for a semi-final here. So I got another great prediction from him. Luke Humphries playing Jan van Veen. I did predict this out for quarter-final. I thought for Jan van Veen, if he turned up, and I thought he probably would get to this stage. I prefer Humphries here. His averages on the whole, I bet bar one match, are better than Van Veen. It's going to be tough one. It's been a great match to watch, I think. But in the end, I think Luke Humphries' ability and experience just will edge out Jan van Veen, but that'd be a hard one to call. The last quarter-final, it's the only time I think I got no one right at all. I had Van Gerwen playing Danny Noppet, one of the players to one in magnificent performances here from Justin Hood, who's gone through and beating Nick Henry quite easily in a match I thought was quite close, and a magnificent battle against Danny Noppet. So off Ryan Meikle quite easily, who I felt Ryan Meikle was rather lucky to get to third round, frankly. Although he did actually, Ryan Meikle did a decent job in the end of that match, better than his first 2 matches. And then he just totally out-doubled Josh Rock in an astonishing performance. And I'm not sure at all this. It's one I really do think is actually 50-50. And I'm going to go for Justin Hood. I think he's about 2 to 1 at the minute of betting. I think that's an overreaction to Gary Anderson's form. Hood actually had a better average against Josh Rock than Anderson against Van Gerwen, although that's helped with Hood's hitting all the doubles until the final leg. And as just said, 55 is slightly Anderson himself has said in the past, maybe he's trying to delay down his chances, that maybe he doesn't have stamina anymore for a long tournament. Of course, you get a day off, he's not playing today, but you get off before playing again tomorrow. But I'm just going to actually favour Justin Hood over Gary Anderson, but that's probably, in my view, the closest of all the quarterfinals.